Okay, I think it is time that we talk about the term paper and project that's coming up and how the annotated bibliography factors into the term paper and project. So, just so you know, you have the information here. I know that this is going to seem overwhelming at first, and I just want to encourage you to calm down and realize that we are going to take this one step at a time. We are going to build these pieces together with guidance. So don't think that you have to know how to do all of this right now. This is going to take the rest of the semester. This is our huge project, and so just bite it off one piece at a time. So I want to go over the actual term paper project with you. So the first part of this is the actual term paper. This is going to include a literature review and a portion on the interviews that you're going to conduct. So your first focus will be the literature review, and I am asking you to have 6 different sources. You can do 2 from in-class readings and then 4 new sources. So what this means, we read Dweck, we read on Duckworth's work, we read Failure is Not an Option, we read the Konnikova piece. All of those were assigned readings. And then you also chose one from the work cited for your article analysis. So consider all of those in-class readings, the ones that were assigned, and then the one you did for article analysis. Then you have to use 4 new sources. Now you can use more than this. Let me stress that. But this is the least here. So 4 new sources. For the annotated bibliography, I want you doing independent research and finding your own source. But beyond that, your 4 new sources may include a source from that works cited page that you haven't reviewed yet. So just keep that in mind, that there are some options here if you want to use some of the sources that I have suggested. Later on in the semester, we will be conducting interviews, and these are not like big events here. We're talking about people that you already know. Just trying to get other people's take on the idea of resilience. Remember that this entire semester and this entire project deals with the concept of resilience and the various issues that relate to resilience. So on this document, I show you how I want you to set up your paper. We started this semester talking about what is resilience and how can people develop resilience. If those are the only things you focus on in your paper, so be it. But if you can add other questions or other topics to your paper, that is great too. Even though this is considered a literature review, you are not to build the paper around the literature, but around the ideas that have come up for you in the literature. So maybe what is resilience? Maybe perhaps you find that courage is strongly related to resilience. Perhaps you find that failure is strongly related to resilience. And so you can answer that question with what does the research say? And then how can we develop? And then any other topics that you would like to focus on. The rest of this paper will be the interview portion. And you will just basically be telling about the interviews you conduct and what these people had to say about these different topics. So you'll start with a huge introduction of the whole thing, and then you will conclude. Please don't freak out about this paper because we are going to build it one piece at a time. So what you are focused on right now is just beginning your research. You're beginning looking for one of your new sources. Okay. Just so you know, you also have specific instructions for the literature portion and the interview assignment, and you can look at those here. So this one has to do with the literature review, and this one has to do with the interview, and we'll talk more about those as the time moves on. So this week, you are to research one original source. And then compose an annotated bibliography entry. Okay, so an annotated bibliography entry is just your proof that you can analyze a source. It may be that once you analyze this particular source, you determine that you cannot use it in your paper, and that is fine. That is part of analysis. There's really specific instructions for this. And I have included how to go about research. And so this is an older video here, but it still pertains to how to go about research. I'm going to make a separate video for you discussing this particular assignment and research, that's specific to this topic. Okay, so again, just to reiterate on this video, you are selecting a new source that deals with the topic of resilience, whether it's courage, failure, vulnerability, support, persistence, determination, motivation, mentoring, all these different connected components to this topic. You can either research resilience by itself or research resilience with one of these topics, okay? Think about how you are going to craft your paper, what you're going to focus on in your upcoming paper as you go about doing your research. All right, I'll talk to you more in a bit.